Just wanted to do a quick tour of my food plot down here. This is another way I'm producing food on our homestead. In this case, in the short term, I've got clover planted right here, which is non-native and of course not ideal, but it does draw deer in, and turkeys also love it. I took half the field and put it in clover. Half this field I just burn off and help try to get the native stuff going, like this hollow stem Joe Pye weed, and see some sumac in there. There's edible stuff, but also just cover for wildlife and stuff like rabbits that I hunt. On a more long-term basis, I've got a few different plantings down here. This little pin has Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes in it. I planted these back in the spring. I also planted this ground nut, Apios americana. This is Helianthus tuberosus. As you can see, the deer love to eat Jerusalem artichokes. And if I hadn't put this little fence up around it, the deer and the rabbits probably would have eaten all of it. But this lets it get tall enough to photosynthesize and produce some root crop and hopefully expand to fill more of this area instead of the clover. Also, I've planted in a couple of places along the tree line where there are trees that are good for putting a deer stand on or climbing with the climber. I planted some native crab apples that I grew from seeds. There's one here, one over there. And another thing I'm planning to do is there are a couple of persimmons in the edge of this field. I'm going to cut the trees around them that are competing with them to try to favor those. Another native crab apple over there. Then, in addition to that, I've got a couple of American chestnut hybrids. Of course, they're partially Chinese chestnut. These are just Dunstans, which are kind of the common ones that you find at farm stores in this area to be planted. But I want to get some of the different varieties that have a little more American chestnut in them, native chestnut. But what I did was cover the ground in cardboard, throw logs and stuff on it, and of course I did that after I planted them. I put these little cages around them to protect them from the deer to some degree, and the cardboard to keep the weeds down. This is a real easy way to plant stuff that I have not weed-eated or cleared around them since I planted them. So it's low maintenance, helps them to get established. On the other end of this field, there's some more food producing stuff in this little area. My goal is for this little 1 acre cleared patch down here, which was here when we bought it, to eventually just be full of native food plants and stuff that we can eat, but also stuff that attracts the deer and turkeys, which we eat. As I've cleared and burned in this field, I've left all these small persimmons. We'll see what those produce, or some of them I may graft with some improved varieties that have really big persimmons. Some of these may be males, so if that turns out to be the case, I'll cut them off and graft them with females. Not all of them, but some of them. And then there's this nice little stand of pawpaws here that are in full sun, which is where pawpaws produce the most fruit. So I'm not sure how they got started here, but they were here and I clear around them. I cut off the suckers to favor one stem. So in a couple of years, I should be getting some persimmons out of here. Along the edge of this field, also a really cool thing, especially for this area, here's another persimmon, is this. It's a white walnut or butternut. It's a native species that's a lot like a black walnut, but it has a football-shaped seed, and the nuts are really good. It's actually rare, becoming rare, especially in Indiana, because of a introduced fungus, a canker fungus that kills these. So I collect the nuts off this tree and grow little saplings and plant them all over the place to try to help this species out, and I also eat some of them. But that's my little native food field down here.